Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about what happens when you get your first tiny little cute arrangement that you just love and you're going to cherish for a long time. And this is a cute little planter right here. Grow the plants, little Grace. And it looks like a tin can, like from the olden days, but it's really ceramic and it's really cute. So you're trying to find a place for your cute little arrangement, and I suggest that you find a bright and sunny spot, maybe under a skylight or under like on a ledge of your kitchen where it gets a lot of sun. And also, if you want to put in your bathroom, make sure that it gets a lot of light anyway, especially in the winter time. Okay, so the first thing you need to remember, how much water do I water this plant? Okay, so in the summertime when it's hot and it's under light or outside even, you need to water it at least once a week. I have a moisture meter plants, and I use the moisture meter to see how much water I need to put back in, or if there's still water in there, because succulents, even though they have their own water system inside their bodies, they still need water. So if you underwater, you can tell that you're underwatering if you can see a little puckering. This is not a good example because I'll explain to you later, but this is what it looks like. A little puckering, you know, means it's not getting enough water. So, but if your plant is turning bright green or yellow green, then you're overwatering it. So I can't stress enough to have a moisture meter. You can stick your finger in there, but if you have something like this that's really compact, how do you stick your finger in there? The moisture meters are less than $10, so it's a really good investment. I have a link on the description below. So if you want to order one from Amazon, that's great. Okay, so you got this home. What do? You put it again in bright sun, and but if it's in the winter time, you might want to take it outside for the day, or just for it to get a little bit of heat. Also, you don't want it to be under something that's going to be creating a microclimate. Microclimate meaning, it's a certain climate in a certain spot. So you don't want it too cold, you don't want it too hot. The perfect temperature for these types of plants are less than 100 degrees or 90 degrees. And if it's going to be outside, it should be under indirect sunlight. I can't stress that enough. I don't know how many plants I've almost lost, like this beauty right here. This is a Echeveria agavoid, and I accidentally left the tarp down, and it was 90 degrees outside. It was overcast, but it was 90 degrees, but you still get the UV rays anyway. So it burned. And I have a video of that. If not already up on this channel, it's coming up. All right, so everything's fine. You wanna water your plants. So I have this little bottle that has like this little nozzle that can get into this little nooks and cranny. So I just give it a little water until these things right here, this type of planter right here, has a hole in the bottom. And just trust me, there is, because I can't turn it over. So what I do is I just give it some water. Ooh, I should put it underneath something in case it leaks. So succulents do not want their feet wet. So or wet all the time. So when you water it, I usually water once a week in the summertime when it's nice. But if it's 90-degree weather, especially if your planter is a small planter, I give it water twice a week. But again, so invaluable, this water meter, this moisture meter. So I just spot water in between the crevices, because you really don't want water inside, especially this beautiful echeveria right here inside the floret. So they don't like that. And if you do that, you want to take some paper towel and take off the water, because if you expose that in sunlight, it's gonna burn it. And they're very sensitive because they have so much water inside of them. Now, this type of plant right here, the fuzzy one, it likes a little bit more sunlight. It's fine. But if you have all these other ones, this is pretty hardy right here. It is a Adolphi. Okay, so now you have this, and everything's fine. It's doing great. As time goes by, stuff is going to grow underneath it. This one's gonna have chicks. It's called hens and chicks. This is gonna have chicks, and then these guys are gonna have little sprouts. You can either take the chicks out and replant them, or just take the whole thing out and replant it in a different pot. But then you have these types of the sedums right here, like this one that I have next that I'll show you. This one is overgrown. It's just going out of control, so you can't really see the beauty anymore, right? And so this one has been sitting outside. I have like a little Haworthia in there. You can't see it because of this. These guys are overpowering. So you want to kind of trim this. You can trim it and then stick it back into the soil in the back of it. Okay, or you can just trim it and just replant it in your garden. This right here, this sedum right here, is a fast grower and it's a crawler. So if you want something to cover, like a ground cover or something, this is a perfect plant for it. So now I have this one that's getting too tall right here. So I just want to trim it a little bit. And when you trim it, don't throw away what you trimmed, because you can replant it. And succulents are good to replant. So I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, okay, it doesn't seem balanced. Like this is too tall right here. This one is growing this way, but there's nothing here. I don't know why there's nothing there. So what I'm going to do first of all is take my forceps. These forceps are awesome, not just for surgery, for plant surgery. Yes. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is to remove all the dead leaves from the plants itself and from the surrounding areas on the bottom, because this right here, the detritus, the dead leaves, will attract mealy bugs. Mealy bugs are your enemies. They are not your friends. They do not have a purpose on this earth except for making a succulent lover and collector's life miserable. So remember that. So I'm going to show you what a mealybug looks like. Should be after this segment, but first things first is to remove like all these leaves that are about to die. They're gonna fall off eventually, okay? And when they fall off, what's gonna happen is another stalk is going to grow out of it. So that's what they do to reproduce. And if you look at it, there's already some kind of root system going on, and what happens is this pushes itself out, and then it's gonna fall eventually, and it becomes the dried leaves. So why not take it out now? So I'm just gonna remove like whatever I don't want in there, like the big kind of woody parts of the soil, the potting soil, the potting mix. Remove that. And I see that there's a lot of roots coming out and it's drying up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some more soil or just around it, okay? Just to have something for that to hang on to. Okay, so now this Haworthia right here is, look at this plant right here. There's a plant that just grew. Okay, so I'm going to rebury this. It's still alive because, oops, oh, there's still some green in there. But if you come across something like this, I would just take this and put it in a separate pot, because I feel like it's probably not getting enough sunlight where it's at. And then this guy right here is like really trying to cover him. Okay, so removing all of the dead. And then I'm going to trim this a little bit because it's got like kind of dead. But see, this right here is going to crawl. The sedum is going to crawl. So I'm just going to leave that there, bury the roots. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so here's my nice little scooper. I love this scooper because it's small enough it gets into the nooks and cranny, and then it's also curved. Okay, because after a while all that soil is now settling down, so it's going to expose some of your root system, and then the roots are going to grow and all that stuff. So you want to add some more soil in there, and I tap it down, put some more in there. Make sure you get all of the dead leaves because I'm still seeing some stuff right there. Yeah, leave whatever little tiny plantlets are in there, leave it there because they're going to refill your planter. Or you could also remove it. So now I have here, I also have some detritus that I see everywhere, and I just come and remove that as I see them. I don't know about this guy right here. It's still alive because there's still green, and there's still green coming up right there. So what I'll do is I'll just cut that dead leaves right there so that the next configuration of leaves can come up. This one I'm going to put in the corner right here. That way it gets a lot of sun. Then I'm going to fill back up. Tap. Make sure you tap so that the soil, it's the easiest way to pack the soil in. Believe me, it is. Okay, so now I'm looking at it. This is kind of going wacko right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some of these short ones and cut off the long ones. So you want to get as close to the end of the stem to remove, and then you got to remove some of these leaves so you can bury it. And here's the beauty of this. The beauty of this, move it right here. The beauty of this forceps is you take the forceps, you line it up with your plant, and then you stick it in the ground. Stick it, and your forceps are just gonna help you stick that in there, and then hold it, and then let go of the forceps. So there we go. So that's in there. Do not water this planter until a week from the time you put some plants that are that have no roots yet into the ground. Even if they have roots, don't do it, because they need to be acclimated to their surroundings. This one I'm going to cut the big one, and I'm gonna stick this back into the soil because the little one is not pushed out too far. So same thing, you're gonna take it. Can you see? Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're gonna take it and you're going to line it up and take some more out, because this is, you need to take as much out. Crap. So now that's too much. And maybe an inch or a half an inch. This is just a 1/4 inch, but I'm gonna stick it in there anyway. And help it along. Hold it down and then pack it around. Hope you saw that. Okay, what else? So this one, oh, this one just kind of broke off on its own, so I'm good. And look, it has a little tiny root there, so that's gonna root up for sure. So I'm just gonna stick it inside the spaces that I see. I'm gonna do this right. Oops, I gotta take some more off, because, and where I took off, that's where the new roots are gonna form. Well, okay. Where else? So this one is also, let's see, that one's okay. This one I'm gonna take off the top one, because this is, actually no, because I'm going to take the bottom one, because look at all the root system that's already there. I don't have to bother with waiting for it to root up. So remove that one too. Okay, all right, let's just go with it. It wants to come out by itself. So let's just go with it. I don't know why it keeps breaking off on me. It's very young. Just stick it in there and it'll be fine. Take this off. You gotta be very gentle with them, because they're not very strong sometimes. Let's see. So now I'm looking at it and it's like, I don't really know. I don't really see. Okay, so let me just get one more thing addressed here. So I'm gonna take this big one. It's really tall. I mean, it's past this thing right here, so I'm just gonna cut it right there. Okay, and from there I'm going to stick him back in, just so it fills up all the little spaces. And also, not only does it fill up the little spaces, it will also now balance this other guy right here. There we go. Yay, see, now it's perfect. So I'm gonna take some more, just a little bit more soil, just to get that anchored down. Get them all anchored down. Okay. I think we're good to go. I think that's cool. Now I'm seeing a little bit more, you know, spots here and there, but I'm not gonna be worried about that too much because okay, this guy needs to go in there. Give me some more soil to bury him a little bit more. So I don't want to see soil. So what do? You can do one of two things. You can just wait until it fills up. It fills itself out. And or you can get some little tiny pebbles or rocks or what have you to fill around it and to make it look okay. Still see like dead leaves here. But what I'm gonna do, since I have some more of these plants right here, I'm gonna add some more. Okay, so that's done. All right, now if you see, which I have here, this agavoides, mealy bugs right there. Okay, this is not a mealy bug, that's just a little pebble. All right, so now what I do have is I have this water brush. It doesn't have water in it. Instead, I filled it up with alcohol. So alcohol will kill the mealy bugs. So since I see it right there, and this is gonna go into the nooks and cranny. So important because you have to be able to get inside that thing to remove it, and it's gonna kill it. So so what you do is you press the body of it, you press it together, and then the alcohol will spew out of there. It's not gonna hurt the plant as long as you don't immediately put it out in the sun. But I've been doing this and it's been working so great. So it gets rid of all the mealy bugs right there. No, do I see something else in there? Okay, I don't know if that's a mealy bug there, but I don't trust it, so I'm going to take it out while it's still young. So I'm just gonna go through. They like to get into the nooks and cranny, and it's so hard to get them out with a Q-tip. There's no way a Q-tip will get in between all that. So now that I don't see any more mealy bugs anywhere, I'm just gonna set this aside and set this aside and just let it dry. The alcohol will dry so fast that it's not even gonna matter. But yeah, that's how you remove mealy bugs, and then it's dead. Even if it's in my brush right here, my brush has alcohol, it's dead. So within that kit that I have on my description, the kit for this and what else? What other things come with it? Oh, with that also comes the brush, this brush right here, to brush off all of the unnecessaries from your plant. Just to make it, just to groom it up a little bit. All right. So my next tip also, as after you get chicks from the Henson chicks, like this guy right here will have babies. This one right here will have babies, I know. And this one also, look, there's a baby in there already. So all you have to do is to remove it with a sharp knife, like one of those X-Acto knives. make sure that you get as close to the base of the stem, and make sure that there's no exposed plant material, like the exposed meat of the leaf, because that will attract fungus. So now that you've removed it, you will set it aside for about 2 days. So when you cut it off the stem, some of them have roots already. So you can use this and just bury it in the ground, but let it heal up first, because if you don't let it heal up, that will become rot once you water it and it's not ready to get wet. So I would heal it up first. It's not going to hurt the plant. The root is still nice and fresh, and then you can bury it wherever you want to bury it. Same with this guy right here. This one is the same plant as that one. This one right here. Actually, it's not the same. I think this is a California sunset. So I just cut it off, and now it's healed up. See? Same with this one. This has been sitting out under shade, not direct sunlight, and it's now healed up. Same with this guy right here. This one even has a flower, but it died. So same with that. That's healed up. I have one right here that he has. Looks like no. So these are all ready to go in the ground, healed up, in the ground or in an arrangement. There we go, healed up. That can go in. Why do we need to heal it? Because once you water it and it's under the soil, it's going to rot if you don't. If you are thinking about propagating it in water, you can do it. I don't suggest, I don't advise for these echeverias to be dunked in water, but the leaves can. You can watch my video about that. This one is a nice one right here, and it's healed up now. I can put that in the ground. You need to remove at least 1/2 inch from the plant so that the roots can come out of it. And this one has a baby already, look. This one also has a baby. This guy right here, you can just put it on the soil and the roots will find its way into the soil. Or you can just cover it a little bit if you're not brave enough to do that. Because when I first started, I wasn't brave enough to do it. So I put a little bit of soil, just a little bit of soil around it. And for this one, I would suggest take a couple of leaves off. Make sure that it's a clean cut so that it can bury pretty well in soil. And the roots will just catch on for sure. There we go. And these I got from Echeveria plant that I've had for 2 years, and it just keeps giving me babies and babies and babies. So that's why this is like a gift that keeps on giving. That's what I call it. And make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Soul Sugar Succulent. And also keep watching the YouTube videos. Subscribe. Just click the subscribe button on the right side of the screen, like at the lower part. Subscribe so that you can get notifications every time I do a video. It's always going to be very informative. I will make sure of that. And also, if you want to patronize me, this is the only time I will let you. Go to Patreon. I have a link on the description. You can sponsor me for $1 a month. I would love that, just to get all these, keep this going. You know, keep showing you, like, as my collection has been growing and growing. I can take you with me, and I'll take you to nurseries. Every time I go on vacation, I go visit nurseries. You'll see that in my Massachusetts trip. You'll see, and I ask questions. Make sure that whoever is watching this that lives in the same kind of area, they would also know how to do it. I'm doing the legwork for you guys, so I hope you support me. Please support me. Please sponsor $1 a month, and or more if you want. That would be even better. So till my next video, I love you guys. Take care. Bye bye.